My friends at G Fuel just launched a new flavor, Sour Phaseberry, and in celebration, my code ESPRESSO is now 30% off through Monday the 25th. If you guys are interested, check the link in the description below to get 30% off your order. So it seems like the first official Season 4 details have come in as the cryptic marketing and narrative continues on for Modern Warfare and Warzone, but along the way, it confirms a bit of what we can expect to see in just over a week's time. With this, it also seems like we'll be kicking off a little bit more of Season 4 intel, maybe a little earlier than normal, since we usually see this stuff start to trickle in around the week out mark beforehand. Not necessarily the 11-day mark that we're at right now, but hey, I'm not complaining. I'm excited to see where all this goes, so today I want to break down with you the first official teaser and explain everything that we can piece together out of this. So that said, let me know your thoughts down below. Are you excited for the continuation of the story, or perhaps maybe the new operator it seems we're going to be getting introduced into MP and Warzone out of this, and anything in between? As well, if you are new to the channel, do be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare and Warzone content, especially as we're ramping up towards Season 4, full steam ahead. We'll keep you up to date with absolutely any and everything you need to know. But anyways, let's jump into it. For those that are unaware of what happened today, a newsletter went out to the Call of Duty mailing list members, though seemingly at random, because I know plenty of people who didn't get it. As far as I know, I think one of my email accounts is also on that mailing list, and I didn't get it. But if you check it out, it's a continuation of what we discussed yesterday, how there was an event going on in Verdansk, and how we'd get more info today, the 21st. Well, that was in the form of this newsletter, and whenever you got it, it sent you to a cryptic message. Take a look if you haven't seen it just yet.
All call signs. This is Echo Charlie Hotel 20. Line is open. How copy?
Watcher 1 is 5x5. Nikolai?
Yes, Laswell. Good to hear your voice.
SIGINT suggests target Denver scheduled a priority call with an unknown. Let's go live.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I have a delivery for you.
Roses or weeds?
Both, I am afraid. The opposition is moving new ornaments into territory, Victor.
Good. Let them. And the weeds?
They are enlisting the help of a senior operator. I have only one picture of this man, but the quality is poor.
Who is he?
An old friend.
One man? Is this a problem?
Yes, a big one.
Твою мать! Сука!
They're gone, ma'am.
Copy. You can run.
But you can't hide.
So that's something, right? That's possibly a lot to digest if you haven't paid attention to the backstory in Modern Warfare and in Warzone since the campaign finished, and what they've been doing to progress throughout the multiple seasons. First things though, we need to recognize that this is a narrative side of things dictating a bit of what's to come. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's that air quote event that we are all hoping for and maybe all waiting for to happen in Warzone. The assumption was that there was going to be some sort of live in-game event happening actually in matches, but that doesn't seem to be the case. This seems to be all that we got here as of today. And while it wasn't necessarily as big as people may have hoped, it is still something that provides a little bit of clarity as to what we will see. So for this, we see Kate Laswell and Nikolai, along with an unnamed Echo Charlie Hotel of the Armistice Alliance, created at the end of the campaign to stop Al-Qatala. They're intercepting communications with Target Denver, who we previously didn't know of their identity, but that now we know is Khaled al-Assad. We're finally starting to see more and more of him in the limelight. We knew of his existence in the ending of the campaign, and again, we saw him in the Season 1 intro cinematic when we panned out and we saw the fighting unfold and that he was watching it all from broadcast. But what's even more interesting is that for the first time, we're also introduced, at least in the spotlight, to a member of the Zakayev family, and we'll come back to this in just a second because it gets a little weirder, but we see Victor Zakayev in this conversation with Khaled al-Assad. But in this conversation, we hear of their plans in Verdansk, but also that an old friend is being sent to the scene, one that could prove to be very bad, and that friend is none other than Captain John Price. So let's begin there, because this is similar to other marketing that we've seen in previous seasons and of course in previous years of Call of Duty, but Price looks to be the most prominently displayed out of all of this, though he's not the only thing that we can work out of the images and flashes on screen. For that, we see a handful of noteworthy items. Firstly, again, Price, we see some weapons, we see Bunker 11, and we see some interesting scripting that I want to call your attention to. But Price looks to be that main operator that we end up getting here within Season 4, and that would seem to go all according to plan. We saw that Ghost was introduced, we saw saw that Alex was introduced, and we see also with these communications progressing a little further, that Price was behind all of that. So for him to finally be introduced within to the Modern Warfare world and universe on the MP side of things, it makes sense. And assuming that like Ghost, like Alex, like Mara, that were introduced in their own sort of premiere way as the first things introduced about the upcoming season, he's likely going to be the one that is free with the battle pass, the one that doesn't come in a $20 bundle later on down the line, but will instead be right there at launch. That's what I'm thinking here with it. But outside of that, we also see two flashes of two weapons. Now, one is being held by an operator, and this one is a lot harder to decipher, and to which I don't exactly know if I have an answer here for this one. But the other one that is just an image of a weapon on seemingly a gun bench or a table of some kind, that looks like a modern day Galil. And if you followed the recent leaks that we talked about here on the channel, the Galil is actually in the game files and has been for a little bit, so that makes sense. If that's the case, we're probably going to see it in, again, it's more so modern day capacity, and for the first time in an Infinity Ward title outside of the cut Galil from Modern Warfare Remastered. But this is probably going to be taking a little bit of what is almost the AK-47 route with the 7.62 by 39mm stance in its ammunition, and have damage properties very similar to that of the AK-47, which if you look in the game files, it actually does already. So that's something that, again, with audio already in place and in the game files, that's a good sign. And of course, that image, though it is still a little blurry, it's a little bit harder to maybe decipher, it does look like a modern day Galil. So I think that's what I'm going to go with that we can pull out of that image. But another interesting part is in this transmission, we do see a slight pan in one of the frames to Bunker 11, just north of Mill Base. And of course, with everything going on right now in Warzone with the recent Easter egg and what we talked about, how you could get into that bunker, that makes sense. It makes sense that we would see communications going in and out of there. But as to the reasoning for why, we still have no idea. Hopefully that's cleared up a little bit. I would love to see this progress a little bit further, of course, before season 4. But if it is something that we're now at that wall, which it very well could be, and we don't see anything progress until season 4 actually kicks off, I do hope that at least at that point we get some more clarity as to what's going to happen, and maybe even that event. That said, the last thing that I think we can pull out of here is some scripting that we see in some of these sort of just back-end air quote code that is flashing in all the digital text. There's two things that stand out to me, one of which may not be anything at all, but we'll lead in with that one. At the very beginning, when you see the sort of logs for everything logging online and everything connecting, you see that one line of script says struct group underscore info init or initiate underscore groups equals usage atomic underscore init or initiate. Now, of course, like I said, this could be absolutely nothing at all. It could be something that is just there, but the use of the word atomic when we just found a nuke in Bunker 11, that to me just seems a little bit too much to be a coincidence. I don't know where that could lead, but that was something that I wanted to point out. But the final thing that I want to point out here that we can see that may be of some substantial information, in the corners of some of the dialogue boxes that are brought up in this intelligence call, there is one that has some Russian text underscore V4. Now, the curious part, and why I said this may get a little bit weirder back earlier in the video, is that if you translate this, it translates to Imran Zakayev. So it seems like we finally have that father-son duo being brought to, again, the limelight here, the spotlight. But we don't have any specific reasoning as to why, or at least in this instance, how Imran Zakayev is tied into this. Of course, we do know that from the campaign, he's going for Barkov's throne. He wants to be that supreme baddie within Modern Warfare 2019's universe. So perhaps that's quite literally the footnote of this entire situation, and that Khaled Al-Assad and Viktor Zakayev are working through all of this in Verdansk, and it's just leading to, again, installing Imran Zakayev, but we don't have any idea. But again, like I said, it's something that I definitely think is worth mentioning because that's a big name and a big player that is just seemingly thrown in there for what looks like no apparent reason, but there definitely is one. So with that said, that is everything that we can learn here out of this new teaser that came out as of today. But at the same time, this is more than likely not all that we're going to see here. I can't imagine that we're going to go another 11 days up until season 4's launch that we don't see anything more. So just keep a vigilant eye. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more stuff coming out this upcoming Tuesday that may kick off some more formal teases here within Modern Warfare for season 4. I seriously would love to see something happen within the world of Verdansk and something progress here within the bunker Easter egg, or something that points a little bit more to it. And that's more so just personally for me. I've had so much fun hunting for this Easter egg and trying to track down everything. But that said, we're getting really close here, so expect a lot more, and we'll keep you up to date here on the channel as all of it happens. But anyways, that's where we're going to wrap it up. So I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of this here? Are you excited to see Price potentially return? Are you excited for potentially what may be a new rifle of the Galil? Are you looking forward to what may be just this backstory progressing a little further? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and of course, all that you need to know on Season 4. We got you covered here on the channel. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. I live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. But it's another way. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Modest Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.